Welcome to the dawn of a new era, an era where knowledge is the fuel for innovation, where expertise opens the door to endless possibilities, and where the future is shaped by those who are ready to lead. At SVCH, Silicon Valley Certification Hub, we believe in the power of next-generation professionals. We believe in you. In a world that moves faster than ever, where challenges arise that we've never faced before, it's not just about keeping up, it's about staying ahead. It's about mastering the tools of tomorrow to build the world we want today. Our globally recognized certifications are not just credentials, they're pathways. Pathways to mastering critical knowledge from Agile and Scrum to data management, innovation, AI, and beyond. Whether you're a seasoned executive or a rising star, SVCH is here to elevate your expertise to the next level. Together, we will shape industries, transform organizations, and break through the barriers of the past. We invite you to join the new wave of leaders and innovators, prepared, confident, and ready to face challenges the world has never seen.
To SVCH Talks, where innovation meets inspiration, and every conversation sparks transformation. Here we unlock the future, share cutting-edge insights, and empower you to lead the way in a world driven by knowledge and discovery. Let's elevate together, because the next breakthrough starts here.
We're thrilled to have you join us for a day filled with insightful discussions, groundbreaking innovation, and transformative learning. Today, you'll have the unique opportunity to hear from industry leaders as they share their expertise, experiences, and best practices. Now we're ready to start. Let's dive into the broadcast that our team has prepared for you. Enjoy it.
Good morning, good afternoon, evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Sinji Gill, and I'm a Security Cloud Solution Architect at Microsoft. Today, I'll be sharing insights on a topic that's increasingly top of mind for executive leaders, global cyber threats, and AI-powered defense. This session is designed specifically for decision makers to help you understand how the cyber threat landscape is evolving and how AI is fundamentally reshaping our approach to defense. I also share lessons learned from real-world incidents and what they mean for your leadership. Let's begin with a quick overview of today's agenda. Here's what we will cover in the next 40 minutes. First, we will explore the current cyber threat landscape, what's new and what's changing. Second, we will talk about why AI is not just hype, but a game changer in defense strategy. Then I'll share real-world examples of how AI is already making an impact. We'll also discuss how executives can align cybersecurity with business goals. And finally, I'll leave you with some key takeaways and action steps. To understand why this conversation is urgent right now, let's start by framing the business context. Cybersecurity is no longer just an IT issue, it's a business critical priority. According to Cybersecurity Ventures, ransomware now strikes every 11 seconds. And in IBM's 2024 report, the average cost of a data breach reached $4.8 million. At the same time, CISOs are gaining more visibility at the broad level. The risks are too big to ignore: brand damage, regulatory fines, operational shutdowns. Cybersecurity has officially moved into the C-suite. So what has changed in the role and expectation of security leadership? This table shows the evolution of a cybersecurity leadership. In the past, security was a compliance-driven, a box to check. Today is the risk-driven, a strategy imperative. It used to be owned by IT, now it's shared across the business. It used to be reactive, now we must be predictive and proactive. And instead of focusing only on infrastructure, we now prioritize data and identity. This shift in cybersecurity isn't just a technical function, it's an enterprise-wide capability. So what challenges do executives face in this new environment? From my conversations with executive teams, I see three recurring challenges. First, threats are moving too fast for traditional defenses to keep up. Second, it's difficult to quantify the business value of security investments. And third, there's the pressure to adopt AI, but not enough clarity on how or where to start. These concerns are valid, and they point to the need to reframe cybersecurity as a core business risk. Let's explore that perspective more directly. Cybersecurity today is a business risk, plain and simple. It affects finances, reputation, and operations. A single breach can lead to 2 weeks of downtime, lost customers, and lasting brand damage. This means cybersecurity cannot be delegated to the IT department alone. Executive leadership must be involved in funding, prioritization, and strategic alignment. If security is everyone's responsibility, it must start at the top. Let's take a moment now to review what you will gain from this session. By the end of this presentation, you will walk away with 4 things: an up-to-date view of the threat landscape, a clear understanding of how AI is transforming cyber defense, and strategic guidance that avoids technical jargon, and actionable insights on what to ask and how to lead. Let's now deep dive into the first topic, the current threat landscape. Cyber threats have fundamentally evolved. In the past, we were dealing with isolated attacks, often opportunistic, disruptive, but limited in scale. Today's threats are organized, persistent, and often commercialized, from ransomware groups operating like SaaS providers to state-sponsored espionage campaigns. We are facing a new class of adversaries. And threat actors aren't just targeting the parameter, they are aiming for data, identity, and business operations. It's not just about volume anymore, it's about sophistication. Let's now take a closer look at who these modern attackers actually are. Modern cyber threats come from a diverse and increasingly professionalized range of groups. So nation-stated groups like APT28 or Vortyphoon pursue geopolitical agendas through long-term infiltration and disruption. Cybercriminal groups operate with affiliate programs and profit-sharing models targeting victims at scale. Insiders often overlooked pose risks that are difficult to detect until damage is done. And finally, hacktivists and ideological groups target organizations for political or social reasons. The common thread: every one of these actors has access to advanced tools, many powered by AI. Understanding their motives is just as important as recognizing their tactics. Let's explore that next. There are 3 primary motivations behind modern cyber attacks. First, financial gain. Ransomware, data extortion, and crypto scams are massive revenue generators. Second, espionage, often carried out by nation-state actors seeking sensitive data or strategic influence. And third, disruption, where the goal is to damage reputation, shake trust, or destabilize operations. Recognizing why attackers act is key to designing defenses that actually matter. Let's now take a closer look at how a typical attack unfolds in practice. While attack techniques vary, the structure is often similar. First comes the initial access, often through phishing emails, credential theft, or software vulnerabilities. Next, later movement, where attackers quietly explore internal systems, escalate privilege, and identify valuable assets. Finally, the impact phase. This could mean encrypting systems for ransom, exfiltrating data, or disrupting services. The timeline between breach and detection can be hours or weeks. That's why understanding each phase is crucial for timely detection and response. One of the most pervasive forms of impact we are seeing today: ransomware. Let's dive into the latest trends. Ransomware has become an ecosystem. Groups like Lockbit and Black Hat are giving way to newer players like Ransom, offering more flexible tools, broader platform support, and better affiliate models. These operations now target Windows, Linux, and even virtual infrastructures like EXXI. They're faster, more invasive, and more damaging. The business model has matured. It's not just about ransom, but data resale, multiple extortion layers, and reputation threats. The cost of a ransomware incident now goes far beyond the ransomware payment itself. But it's not just direct attacks that hurt. Let's look at the supply chain threats next. The supply chain attacks are some of the most dangerous we face today, and 2025 has already delivered a few high-profile examples. The MOVEit breach alone affected over 2,000 organizations worldwide, from major airlines to government agencies. These attacks exploit the trust we place in third-party vendors and software. What makes them particularly challenging is the lack of visibility and the downstream impact. You may not even know you're vulnerable until your customers are affected. Managing third-party risk is no longer optional, it's a board-level concern. Of course, in many cases, attackers still don't need advanced code. They just need to trick a human. Let's talk about social engineering. Despite all our investment in tools, most breaches still start from the same way, with a click. Breaches phishing remains the number one initial attack vector, and it's getting more sophisticated. From business email compromised to deepfake voice scams, attackers are preying on human trust. Awareness training is really, really important, and awareness training alone is no longer enough. We need layered defense, including AI, that can catch suitable cues in tone, behavior, and anomalies in sender patterns. But how are these threats scaling so quickly? The answer lies in how cybercrime has been industrialized. Let's explore the next. Cybercrime has evolved into a full-blown service industry. Today, you don't need to be a hacker to launch an attack. You just need the credit card. Ransomware kits, phishing templates, even deepfake generation tools are now sold openly in dark web marketplaces. It's SaaS, but for crime. And increasingly, threat actors are integrating AI into their tool sets for generating fake voices, bypassing MFA, and crafting personalized phishing content at scale. We are now in an armed race, not just of tools, but of intelligence. Let's look at what one of these attacks looks like in action in the next section. Yeah, let's take a look at a real-world case study that captured headlines earlier this year. In 2025, banks suffered a massive data breach carried out by a hacktivist group. Over 12 terabytes of sensitive data were leaked, including account information tied to government and military entities. What made the incident even more damaging was the bank's initial response. So this highlights two key lessons. First, that no institution is off limits, even state-owned banks. And second, poor transparency and delayed response can escalate both reputational and regulatory consequences. Let's now shift gears and talk about the broader challenge that makes attacks like this possible, the expanded attack surface of modern organizations. With the rise of remote work and cloud-first operations, our attack surface has grown exponentially. Employees connect from unsecured home networks, often on undamaged devices, unmanaged devices. Cloud environments, while powerful, are frequently misconfigured, especially when identity and permissions are tightly controlled. Add to this the presence of shadow IT, tools and services adopted by business units without security oversight, and visibility becomes fragmented. This decentralized reality makes it easier for attackers to slip through unnoticed. The solution isn't just more tools, it's smarter context and earlier warning. Which brings us to the next critical capability, threat intelligence. Threat intelligence is your early warning system. It's more than just lists of malicious IPs. It's about understanding attacker behavior, tactics, and emerging vulnerabilities. Good threat intel combines technical signals, human analysis, and geopolitical awareness. It helps security teams prioritize the right threats at the right time. In Microsoft, we leverage our threat intelligence center to analyze actor groups, campaign patterns, and even fake social profiles used in spear phishing attacks. When intelligence informs your decision making, response becomes proactive, not reactive. Unfortunately, traditional security tools often fail to keep up. Let's talk about why. Here's the challenge. Most organizations are overwhelmed by data, but starved for insights. Security teams face alert fatigue, sometimes receiving over 11,000 alerts per day. Manually investigating each one isn't scalable, and real threats can get buried in the noise. Worse yet, attackers often dwell inside environments for days or even weeks before they are caught, if they are caught at all. This is where traditional rule-based tools start to break down. The volume and complexity of today's signals require a fundamentally different approach, and that's where AI begins to shine. Let's explore how AI changes the game. AI is not just faster, it's fundamentally smarter in how it processes security data. It analyzes millions of signals across endpoints, emails, identities, and cloud services in real time. It detects patterns that aren't predefined, behaviors that suggest compromise before any signature is available. And it continuously learns from new events, improving accuracy over time. Unlike traditional tools, AI doesn't just look for what's known. It can flag what's suspicious or anomalous. This makes it especially powerful in detecting novel attacks or insider threats. So how exactly is AI being applied in detection workflows today? Let's break it down. AI is now embedded in many of tools we use every day, but let's talk about where it really shines. One example is user and entity behavior analytics, or UEBA. This technique builds baselines for normal activity, then flags subtle deviation, like a user logging in from a country they've never visited, or accessing sensitive data at 3 a.m. In endpoint detection response, AI can flag ransomware-like behavior before files are encrypted, allowing faster intervention. We've also seen major success using AI to detect lateral movement within a network, often before attackers reach privileged accounts. But identifying the threat is only half the battle. Let's now talk about AI-powered response. This is where AI and automation come together. SOAR, security orchestration, and automation and response. Allow system to not only detect threats, but respond to them instantly. For example, if a phishing email is clicked, AI can automatically isolate the endpoint, reset the user's credentials, and flag the incidents for review. This eliminates delay and reduces human dependency during off hours. Think of it as your virtual SOC analyst working 24/7. And it doesn't stop with email or endpoints. AI can now correlate data across multiple domains, which brings us to the next topic, integrated detection with XDR and SIEM. XDR, extended detection and response, and modern SIEM platforms now use AI to make connections that human analysts might miss. By ingesting signals from multiple data sources, endpoints, email, cloud, identity, AI can build context and see the full attack chain. One great example is Microsoft Sentinel paired with my Defender XDR. Instead of isolated alerts, AI helps you understand the who, what, and when all in one timeline. This reduces investigation time, filters out false positives, and empowers teams to act faster. So what does this all look like in the real world? Let's walk through a side-by-side comparison of security operations before and after AI. Let's compare traditional security operations with what's possible using AI. Before AI, most teams handle alert triage manually. Response times were slow and analysts were overloaded. Investigations were often delayed, and false positive drained time and attention. With AI, we see a dramatic shift. Alerts are prioritized automatically. High fidelity signals rise to the top. We can contain threats immediately, reduce false positive through context, and allow analysts to focus on truly critical threats. This slide shows how AI doesn't just make us faster, it changes the quality of our decision making. Now let's walk through a concrete example of what AI caught that human analysts missed. This case involves a later movement attempt that happened over a weekend. It was subtle on unusual login from a non-corporate device. No malware involved. Analysts verdict from the alert road missed it, but the AI didn't. By correlating location, device type, accessing pattern, and user behavior, the AI flagged it as abnormal. It triggered containment before the attacker could elevate privilege. This is the power of real-time behavior analysts, not just flagging known threats, but catching the unknowns. And as we improve detection, we can go even further. Toward predicting what might happen next, let's look at predictive security. AI is helping us move from reactive to predictive security by analyzing attack paths, privilege relationships, and attack sensitivity. AI can simulate how an attacker might move through your environment before it happens. Using micro-attack models, AI identifies weak points and ranks them by business impact. It's not just about patching every vulnerability, it's about fixing the ones that truly matter. This allows you to allocate resources intelligently, reduce noise, and harden your environment strategically. And for organizations looking to build a long-term edge, adopting AI is not just a defense tactic, it's a competitive advantage. When you use AI effectively, you're not just improving security, you're improving operational efficiency. AI helps you scale without dramatically increasing headcount. It enables faster, more confident decision making. And it aligns with broader enterprise digital transform efforts. Some of the most successful security teams I work with use AI as a force multiplier, not a replacement for people, but a partner. And increasingly, chief AI officers are working alongside CISOs to ensure AI adoption supports risk management and compliance. Let's now dive into how AI is protecting one of the most common attack vectors, email. Email remains one of the most exploited entry points in any organization. Phishing emails, spoof domains, impersonations, these are difficult to detect with static rules. AI helps by analyzing the tone, language, and behavior of senders in real time. It flags anomalies even in zero-day phishing campaigns. For example, a message might come from a trusted domain, but AI detects subtle differences in phrasing or intent. This allows us to stop threats before the user even clicks. And beyond email, AI is becoming critical in detecting threats that originate inside the organization. Let's look at insider risk. Insider threats, whether malicious or accidental, are among the hardest to detect. AI helps by monitoring behavior baselines for each user. If someone suddenly accesses large volume of sensitive data or logs in from unusual location, AI flags it. It also tracks privileged use, alerting when admin accounts are being used in ways that deviate from historical patterns. This enables early detection and, most importantly, non-intrusive investigation. You get visibility without over surveillance, and you can intervene before damage is done. Now, once a threat is detected, how do we act faster? The answer lies in automation. One of the most powerful uses of AI is automatic containment. When a compromised device is identified, the system can isolate it from the network immediately. No waiting for human confirmation, no delay in response. In some cases, AI can also revoke credentials, notify impacted users, and initiate workflows to reset access. This reduces containment time from hours or days to seconds. The result, less spread, less damage, and far more confidence that incidents are being controlled before they escalate. Let's now look at how AI operates in cloud environments, where visibility is often more fragmented. Cloud environments bring incredible agility, but also introduce new risks. Misconfigurations, excessive permissions, and API abuse are top concerns. AI helps by monitoring for anomalous activity that might indicate misuse or compromise. It detects like sudden access to sensitive data, spikes in outbound traffic, or unauthorized use of admin credentials. And it works across hybrid and multi-cloud platforms, helping unify visibility and enforcement. As complexity grows, AI helps ensure that speed doesn't come at the cost of control. Next, let's talk about how AI supports the people at the center of every security team, the analyst. Security analysts are the human firewall of every organization, but they're often overwhelmed. AI doesn't replace them, it enables them. By grouping related alerts, eliminate duplicates, and offering contextual recommendations, AI reduces noise and boosts focus. Instead of digging through logs, analysts can spend their time investigating, understanding, and responding. It's about turning analysts into strategists with AI handling the repetitive noise. Now let's zoom out and see how all of this supports executive level visibility. Executive need clarity, not dashboard filled with acronyms. AI-powered reporting helps by transforming technical data into business-friendly narratives. Real-time dashboards now show risk by business unit, region, or system, not just IP addresses. This empowers CISOs to report to boards with confidence and relevance. You can tie incidents to business impact, track ROI on security investments, and communicate in terms that drive decisions. Let's now see a real-world example of how this all comes together. A global manufacturing firm recently faced the ransomware attack. Thanks to AI-based behavior monitoring, the attack was detected early before later movement reached critical systems. The platform automatically initiated containment, stopping the spread. Recovery was swift. The most importantly, the incident was handled without regulatory disclosure. The result, reduced downtime, protected data, and preserved brand reputations. This is what AI can do when it's operationalized properly. So what makes those programs successful? Let's look at the common traits. AI adoption in security succeeds when three conditions are met. First, start small. Focus on a use case like phishing detection or identity risk. Second, use your own data. Don't rely on solely vendor models. And third, empower your teams. Let them understand, test, and trust the AI. Technology alone doesn't solve problems, people do, when they are enabled with the right tools and clarity. Now let's turn our focus toward the executive role in shaping AI security strategy. One of the most powerful roles an executive can play in security is asking the right questions. Are we applying AI where it has the highest impact? Are we measuring results or just checking boxes? And perhaps most importantly, where are our blind spots? These questions don't require technical answers, they drive alignment, funding, and accountability. Security leaders often know the answers. What they need is an executive willing to listen and back their strategy. Let's look at why that matters in business risk terms. Cybersecurity is no longer just a technology conversation, it's about business risk. The impact of a breach goes far beyond IT. We are talking financial losses, regulatory penalties, shareholder impact, and operational shutdowns. When we look at ransomware, for example, the ransom is often the smallest part of the cost. The bigger damage is the brand trust, lost productivity, and lost business. That's why treating security as a business function, not just a technical one, is critical. And that's where executives' leadership must be visible. As an executive, your leadership sets the tone for cybersecurity. If you treat it as a priority, your teams will do. When you champion security budgets and empower the CISO, your organization becomes more resilient, not just compliant. It's not about micromanaging tactics, it's about modeling support. Great security culture starts at the top. Now let's look at how security can align directly with business growth. The best security programs aren't isolated. They are enablers of innovations. When security is embedded into product design, go-to-market strategies, and digital transformation efforts, it becomes a competitive advantage. You support expansion without increasing risk, you accelerate cloud adoption while staying compliant, and you build a culture of resilience, one where recovery is fast and disruption is minimized. To prove this value, though, we need the right metrics. Executives don't need a flood of technical indicators, they need outcomes. Key metrics like mean time to detect, mean time to respond, and risk reduction per dollar invested help translate performance into business terms. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Are we reducing exposure? Are we closing gaps faster than they are opening? With the right metrics, security becomes measurable and actionable. Let's now shift to how you can engage your security team more effectively. Effective security conversations don't require technical fluency, just curiosity and support. What keeps you up at night? Where are our biggest blind spots? And what's slowing us down from automating more? These questions signal trust and open the door for deeper insights. They help identify bottlenecks, funding needs, or governance gaps early. Security doesn't live in a silo, and neither should your engagement with it. Let's now talk about preparing to invest in AI securely and smartly. Before you invest in any AI-powered tool or platform, ask yourself three things. 1. What exact problem are we trying to solve? 2. Is our data clean, available, and mature enough to support it? And 3. Who is going to manage and monitor this system over time? Adoption fails when we buy technology without strategy. This checklist helps ensure that AI investment is tied to real business value. But even more powerful than tech is culture. And that's what we'll cover next. Technology helps, but culture determines sustainability. When security becomes part of onboarding, performance reviews, and team recognition, people take ownership. not just the security team, but HR, legal, marketing, and engineering. Encourage employees to report suspicious behavior, celebrate secure coding and operational hygiene. Security is not a one department function, it's a company wide behavior, and it thrives when it's led by example. Every high performing security program I've seen has one thing in common: strong executive leadership. When leaders prioritize cybersecurity, results follow. Whether it's faster response times, fewer breaches, or higher employee trust, it's not about being an expert, it's about being an advocate. Security maturity lies with consistent sponsorship. And AI doesn't succeed in isolation, it thrives when integrated into a broader vision. Now let's wrap up with a summary of what we've learned. To summarize today's session, here are 5 key takeaways. Cyber threats are evolving rapidly and growing more sophisticated. AI is enabling faster, smarter, and more scalable defense. Real-world case studies show the impact is real and growing. Executive leadership is essential to align security with strategy. AI adoption is no longer optional, it's a competitive necessity. Let's take a moment to reflect on where your organization stands. Every organization is on a journey. Some are still reactive, focusing on patching and compliance. Others are becoming proactive, investing in threat intelligence and automation. And a few are predictive, using AI to anticipate threats and shape security postures. Wherever you are, the goal is progress. Assess your current maturity and identify one step you can take in the next 30 days. That's how transformation begins. Now let's reframe AI in its proper context. AI isn't a magical solution, but it's a powerful strategic tool when used well. It amplifies human capability, strengthens decision making, and accelerates response. The success depends on the data quality, governance, and leadership. AI works best when it's aligned with purpose, not just deployed because it's trending. People, process, technology, that's the equation. That's why you're seeing organizations formalize the role of CAIO to ensure AI tools align with governance, risk, and business outcomes. Let's now translate that into action. If you're wondering where to begin, here are 3 things you can do right away. Start a conversation with your CISO or SOC lead. Identify one AI use case with measurable impact, like phishing or identity protection. Audit your visibility gaps, automation blockers. It's not about doing everything, it's about doing the right thing now. Let's close out with how you can stay in touch. Thank you all so much for your time and attention today. If you'd like to continue the conversation, you can find me on LinkedIn. And yeah, what's one issue your team is facing when it comes to AI or threat detection? Thank you for listening.